Bootcamp is about to begin. Rise up, it's time to log in. LP Army will teach you the way to be LP warrior starting today. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in soul and now we sing our song. We live for the fees we make. Soon it is profits that you will take. The LP Army marches strong. The best in soul and now we sing our song. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Thereover we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Spot, could ask, use them all. Winning's the task, we heed the call. Bootcamp, join our ranks so tight. Listen to the goose gang and gain your might. We will praise and we will earn. Once you gain as tokens burn. Join the ranks of the brave and bold. Story of the LP Army told. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Thereover we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the rug and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Make your position and join the pool. Post your wings with Alex's tool. LP Army, we fight to win. Your journey is about to begin. We are LP Army, rise to the sky. Dynamic fees, our battle cry. LP warriors will never die. Thereover we will fly. Rise, new soldiers, rise. Take the course and earn your role. March with us and earn some soul. Dodge the rug and join the fight. We gain together LP Army might. Oh.
GMAT, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Bootcamp number 18, LP Army Bootcamp. We will get right into it. Just a disclaimer as usual, not financial advice here. So any funds you do put in, you do so at your own risk, do your own research. This course is for educational purposes only. And again, if there's no promise of airdrop, that's not what this is about, or anything like that. But we ask that you try and follow along if you can. That's up to you. And as always, be prepared to lose before you win. LPing does take practice to be successful, you know, and if you lose money, just consider that your tuition for learning, if you will. Again, you know, in case you didn't already know, this is me. I am Heavy Metal Cook, your instructor. I volunteer in a lot of things, busy all the time. As my dad would have said, busier than a cat covering poop on a marble floor. Yeah, anyway, I'm also joined by Photon Magic again today. So thank you, Photon, for coming in and helping out with the stream. Appreciate you as always. And so we asked, if you've got questions, put it in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer all your questions. And again, you must complete both days of this course in order to graduate. Now, to clarify that, you have to do both day 1 and day 2. If you've previously passed a day 1, you don't have to do day 1 again. But you have to do both at some point in order to graduate this course. Okay. Again, this is just the resources. If you didn't get it from yesterday, you can scan this link. It's just extra documentation and resources, X accounts with good content, that kind of thing. Hey, GMet. Hello. Glad to see you guys here. Count still rising. People are still joining us here. We're gonna move on here. So surviving and thriving in LP. You don't need to be random about this. You need to have a method. Think about this methodically. Make a plan and practice that. And then you need to adjust your plan. You test and you learn from that. Don't just do random things like, I'm going to try this strategy and see how well it works. And then I'm going to learn from that, what went right, what went wrong. Did I win? Could I have done something better? And learn from that. And finally, of course, collaborate. One of the greatest strengths about Meteora is the LP Army, the community. And there's so many different places that you can collaborate with others, such as in our LP Army Discord on X. You can talk about strategies and all these things. So, let's work together. This is how we can all be successful together. And there's various tools that you can use to do this. There's things on chain and off chain, opportunity finding tools, technical analysis, and risk and performance assessment. These are all things that you need to use in order to be successful. We'll talk about several of these things today. One of the first things we're talking about safety is rug check. You should be familiar with this. If you're not, this is one of the great tools out there. And on every pool, whenever you click on a coin, this little button here, you can click that up and you can go directly to rug check for that very specific token. You want to make sure that it doesn't have any bad attributes, such as being mintable frozen. You can't sell. That's a major warning sign. Low liquidity, of course, that's not necessarily all bad. If it's a brand new token, it may not be an issue, just it doesn't exist yet, but you should proceed with caution. High ownership by only a few, that can be a major warning flag that it's a rug. And copycat tokens, I would stay far away from any copycat token. Those are almost certainly a scam. These are some of the things that you would look at that you might see that are kind of dangerous. Not all of them necessarily are, but like, for example, here, freeze authority, that could be super bad. Mint authority, mutable metadata, a high ownership. But yeah, they're top 10 holders, high ownership, these kinds of things. Those are kind of dangerous. Just looking at some of these things, you want to be very careful about that. So, let me put on, gotcha. And One of the other tools that you can use is bubble maps. And again, just like rug check, that's available in all on all pools. And what it's really showing you is the distribution of a token. Okay. So you can see here, like each bubble represents a, that's not doing it for me, represents a wallet. And it may show you clusters, like wallets that are linked together. Now, there's not all of them are bad, but if you see a big cluster or a big wallet like this one right here, you can see this one wallet is holding 95, or this cluster here is holding like 57% right here. This one wallet is holding 57%. Now, sometimes you may see something that it's like, say it's the pool, you know, a radium pool or other pools. That is not so much to be worried about the pool itself, but if it's a single owner, you know, and it's well above 20% or above 20%, that's kind of a danger that they may rug on you. And here's another example like this. You want to stay far, 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 far away from this, because this is just a massive cluster. These types of things, you're going to get rugged so hard. I would stay far away from those types of tokens. So bubble maps is a great safety tool. Okay. Another thing you want to watch out for is wash trading. So it's volume, fake volume generated by bots. It may not be running through the actual pools that you're using. They may be programmed to run through some other pool very specifically, but you'll see out there on the charts all this volume, and you will see it's like very steady on this particular chart. You will see just this, it's unnatural, right? And you can even see these gaps where like maybe the bot died for a bit and then it picked back up. So this is just kind of like the idea is that they're trying to generate this fake volume to trick traders into, hey, here's a hot token, it's going somewhere. They get you to buy in, and then they're going to rug you. So usually see this on new tokens, but it can happen on old ones. Now, can you still make money off of this? Yes, but the expectation is that this thing is going to rug on you, or all of that fake volume may not actually route through your pool, and so it's not really that profitable. So I would probably stay away from those types of pools or tokens. Now we're talking about LP opportunity finding. How do we find tokens to LP with? And there's a lot of tools. So one of the first things is some of the bots that you will find out on the LP Army Discord. I'll just zoom in a little bit. You'll see this in our Discord, the LP Army Discord DLMM Ops bot, as well as a multi-day ops. You can use help to get a list of the commands used by the bot, but you will see stuff out there. And so this is just kind of telling you some information about these pairs, the top non-strict list, and that's referring to the Jupiter strict list. So you'll see like the market TVL, the trend, is it up or is it going down? The bin step for this particular pool, the base fee, did it pass rug check or not? These types of things. And if you click on that, it'll take you directly to the pool. And again, multi-day is the same kind of thing. Tokens that have potential that may run for longer, multi-days, and not just immediate fast rugs. And the Metlex terminal. So like new DLMMs found, it'll tell you about that. It gives you a little bit of some rug check information, links directly to like GMGN, Jupiter, Ape Pro, Rug Check, Twitter, these kinds of things is just telling you about a new pool, right? Here's one that was like, this is information straight out of Rug Check here. So it's telling you like, this one looks a little dangerous. You may want to be careful with that one. But yeah, this is just one place to find opportunities. And then of course in our LP Army Discord, and if you're not there, you need to get there. You can, if you want to get tagged anytime a new DGen call goes out, go to the role selection channel and add the DGen role. And you'll see this here, DGen calls. So links to threads for a very specific token. Say it's a hot runner. One of our DGen callers may tag that and create a thread for it. Some of these can be good. And you'll see these separate threads. Whenever you click on them, you go into it, there'll be separate discussion just about that token, about what it's doing. The DGen DLMM chat, I love hanging out here. This is one of the best channels, in my opinion, because, you know, people are talking, they're finding new tokens, talking about strategies, you know, what to do, what's hot, what's dumping, what's upcoming, all kinds of great stuff. It's a great discussion in there all the time. Same with the multi-day DGens. That's another place to talk about longer term. But as always, you need to do your own research, check the chart. Don't ape into a token just because someone made a call. And, you know, someone can make a call and then, hey, 5 minutes later, that thing rugged. Well, we didn't know it was going to rug. So, you know, I don't know. So Bot Mechanic was the best API enabled platform or app to find ops. You know, that's probably a matter of opinion. I'm going to present to you several options and some other information, and really kind of, you need to figure out what works best for you, what you like, because everybody's got a different opinion on that itself. So yeah. Okay. And here's one of them right here, Metlex.io. It's made by one of our 3 LP Army leads, Alex. There's a link to it in every single pool, but you can just, of course, go to Metlex.io. It's constantly changing. In fact, new updates to this app just shipped. Really excited about that. It's really cool. Of course, you can check the fees your wallet has earned in a specific DLMM pool. You can generate the classic profit and loss cards. If you're not familiar with how to create those, I'll show you that near the end of this course. You can search for DLMM pools by a specific CA, compare the DLMM versus other dexes, such your competitors out there, see what's performing well and the best out there. The DLMM top 100. I'm going to demo some of this here, but there's some new ones out there. The Super, it's a filtered search. The Super app, that's brand new. And also DLMM and DAM-V2 Telegram notification bots, which look like this. It's basically just anytime a new DLMM or DAM-V2 pool is created, this Telegram channel bot will post it, and it gives some information there. You get links directly to it. Just basic information, tell you how old it is. There's the CA, links to various things, a little bit of rug check information, that kind of thing. This is a really cool tool, and I'm actually going to demo some of this stuff for you guys right now. So let me just change screens here. Let's go to here. And yep, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go to Metlex. All right, cool. So, like I talked about before, DGen pools. I'm going to grab a CA here off of another token. I always go by the CA and not the name, just because I want to verify that. So this is showing me the particular pools for this that are available out there, right? And so I can compare and make a decision which pool that I want to join based off the information here. It's going to show you like how many fees this has earned in the last 24 hours, the amount of TVL in that specific pool, how much volume has come through in the last 24 hours. It gives you a breakdown from 30 minutes to 24 hours for all that information, but it's also going to show you the bin step and base fee. You can get a direct link to the GMGN chart, Jupiter Pro, 8 Pro on these things, and other charting tools that you can go and check out. And then, of course, there's links here directly to the pool that if that's the one you want, you can go straight in. So the and if in case you didn't know, so there's the link to app. That's just app.meteora.aeg. It's going to take you directly to this pool. There's also Edge. And for those who don't know what Edge is the test version of the app. You're getting the same on-chain data. It's just where like new features are tested before going to main. You can both should work just fine. But that's what that is. So you can go straight into something like that from there. Okay, moving on to Dex, where I was talking about, I put that CA in there, and we can see some road check info, links to the bubble maps, and that sort of thing. You can even create a pool here. You'll see this is directly like in the last 5 minutes, it's up 2.6%. The last hour is down 27%. But you'll see across the market, like here, this is the Meteora dynamic pool or DAM V2. Here's a radium pool, an Orca pool, and another Meteora pool, pump swap, these sorts. So you can see how it's doing versus others right there. Okay, so now for the top 100, you can do some filtering here. Like say you want to see only things fees greater than 2%. You can have a choose by time that you want to sort, last 30 minutes, all the way up to 24 hours. And you can even filter out some of your lower liquidity pools by putting in numbers here, like say, don't show me anything that has less than $10,000 TVL. Hit the little rocket and it changed that information here. So I can see kind of what's been getting the volume and earning the fees. So like this one here, it's been getting some good volume and earning some fees in the last 30 minutes. You see like this one here. And again, charting tools, other information that you have, and you can go straight into a pool from there. So this is, I think, one of the most underestimated tools out there that you can use to find existing opportunities. So yeah, let me just pause for a second and see if we have any specific questions. Yep. Okay. Photons answered your question well. So this right here for set and forget LPs, when do alpha vaults make more sense than manual LP? Well, an alpha vault is not, that's not really the same thing. An alpha vault is a place, it's like how you can buy a token before it launches, and it's kind of guaranteeing you a lower price before the snipers get in. That's the idea behind that. You're not really LPing there. It's just a way to buy a token at a lower price at a launch. That's what an alpha vault is for. So yeah. Okay. I see Alex showed up. Thank you, Alex. I'm gonna showing off your tool right now, brother. All right. So the super filter, this is brand new. You can define here by like minimum bin step, max bin step. So here I'm going to say show me 20 and max 125. I am going to say minimum base fee, give me 1%. And then I'm just going to hit the rocket to go. Let's see what we get out of this filter. Okay. So here we can see various pools. And again, it's like some of the other stuff that you saw, but we just filtered by these things so you can see what's going on right now. Like Liquid Soul, that one looks like it may be moving. This particular pool has got, it looks like $1,000 TVL, but the volume on is over 10,000. That's pretty cool, right? Remember, volume is king. And so on and so forth. You could see through here, and again, you can click straight, go straight into that pool and start to LPing with it right there. So that's that one right there. Here are the links to those TG bots that I was talking about. The DLMM TG bot that'll, again, it'll, anytime a new pool is created, which is like all the time, it's constant, that's going to pop up in Telegram if you link yourself to that. Same with the DAM V2. And then we have the brand new super app, which launches in a new window. Okay. So here on this is the main filter right here. The default order, say you're looking for what's brand new, you can do that, filter that, and see what's brand new out there. There may not be a pool for it yet, and you can click that button to take you to go create a pool if that's what you want to do. We can see our market cap, how much volume, change in price, whether it's up or down, current buys and sells, like this one. This people are only buying on that one right now. Let me zoom in just here. There we go. So buys and sells, you see what's going on with these various things. If you hover, you can, like here, you can see the amount of holders for it. Let's see, what is this? The security scores, that comes from like Jupiter, I believe. Let's see, Alex will correct me if I'm wrong. You can see what's old, maybe some old, this may be a good place to find some multi-days. I'm gonna go here to default. We're back to default. Yep. And then up here, you can change the time frame. So you've got like 5 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hours, 24 hours. And then here you can filter by category. So top trending, top traded, and organic, best organic growth. So whenever I do that, you notice that like Sol and USDC come up right on the top, right? So these are probably some of your safer coins. At least a lot of them are things that are being top traded. You know, it is good shit, Alex, and you made it. So that's how we know it's good shit. But anyway, this is just a great, you can also search for a specific token here. Let's see, does this work? Yep, it does. So if you know the name of a token, you can go out and you can look for it. And I'm sure you can drop a CA in there as well. Yep, look at that. You can drop in a CA. So this is just another opportunity. We can see here, there's already 3 pools that exist on it. So we click on that and we can go and make a decision on which pool we want to choose out of this. And you see, here I am looking at the amount of fees generated. And it's quite obvious on this one, the 100 bin step 2% base fee is the best performing pool out of the 3 right now. These others are just not getting the volume. This one's getting all the volume and it's got all the TVL in it. So that's where you want to go. So that's how I would pick that particular pool for that one. So, you know, Alex, hopefully I've covered that really well or well enough. He'll tell me if I haven't. Okay. I'm going to go back to my presentation here. Okay. This really is one of my favorite community tools. You get so much out there and it's constantly being developed and made better. It's really one of the kings in my opinion. Okay, so now we talk a little bit about reading charts. Now, I'm not here to teach you full technical analysis. You don't have to be a technical analysis expert. And when you're dealing with brand new tokens, there's not a lot of technical analysis you can do on a token that's, 5-10 minutes old. There's not enough historical data. But there are things that you can look at in indicators that can give you some idea of what you want to do. Understanding volume and market cap. Market cap is very important. Things with a high market cap, say many millions or even in the billions, is a high market cap. If something is, say, less than $1 million, that's a lower market cap token, and buys and sells can have huge price impact on that. So if, say, you're in a token that's got a $200,000 market cap, well, the price impact of, say, someone buying or selling $1,000 worth of that token is going to be much, much bigger than it would on something that's a 2 million or a 20 million market cap. So that price impact is going to be a lot bigger, and it'll cause those big swings in volatility. GMGN, and I'll show this to you guys. This is a really cool thing. I pay a lot of attention to this. There's a little bit of safety information here, like this particular token, the top 10, 71%. So you'd probably want to stay away from that. How many holders? And whenever you click on these, you can see like this will tell you whenever you click the amount of volume over the last minute, how many buys and sells, and then the net right here. This is also a good indicator telling you which direction it's heading. We'll show you all these things here. Okay, let's go to the next thing here. So useful technical analysis indicators. All right, so the MACD indicator. This is a really cool one, showing you the trend signals. So the MACD line, the blue one, and the orange, and you also got the orange one here. So whenever you see them cross, that indicates a change in the direction of the token. Like whenever that blue line dips below the orange, it's on a downtrend. Whenever it crosses above it, then it's pumping. In addition to that, you have below this here, this information, and it should be fairly obvious what it's doing, right? Green, it's going up, red is going down, but you notice there's different shades here. Like on this particular one, we can see the dark red, that was a strong downturn. As it lightens up, you'll see, okay, the selling is starting to slow down, and it may be an indicator that it's going to go back up. And conversely, a lighter green means the pump is kind of slowing down. It may be an indication of a reversal. And of course, the bigger these bars are, the bigger the pump or the bigger the dump, right? So like here, not big pump, not a big dump, but then you had a big pump followed by some bigger dumps there. So anyway, MACD is a helpful indicator. The RSI is a very simple, but it can be a good one. And it's very, very easy to read this, right? So you've got 3 lines on the RSI, 30, 50, and 70. Okay. Whenever the price of a token, like whenever it goes up above the 70 line, that can be an indicator that the token is overbought and that it's time for a dump, right? There's too much buying, expect it to start selling right then. Conversely, if it dips below the 30, then the token may be oversold and it may be time for it to reverse. Now, of course, that's not always the case in everything, but this is a nice little indicator of, what may be happening. And you can see here where it came above this line, and then there was a big sell-off, and then a pump back up here, and then a trend back down. So you see these things, you can use that to kind of estimate what the token is going to do next. And we will show you these things live here. Now, Heikin Ashi candles, this is, I like this one. It's not necessarily the same thing as, the indicators, but it's a change in the candles, if you will. So in the top, you have your standard candles. And if you're not familiar, you have like the red candle. This is at the, whatever this time period is, let's just say it's 1 minute. So this is everything that it did in 1 minute from the open to the close of that 1 minute. The wicks is the maximum or minimum in each one of these. What the Heikin Ashi candles does instead of showing you all of that, it's kind of trying to show you what the trend is. So while these 2 charts look very similar, you'll see here that there's not so many of the bottom wicks, and it's all kind of green because the trend was a pump up, right? It was a strong trend of a pump up. And then back down, like here, this was a strong downtrend. So it cuts off all those wicks and the little bumps in the pump there. So this kind of gives you a better idea of the general direction that token is going. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So good indicators here. Then the volume profile visible range, or the VPVR. And I'll show you this one. This is really cool. A lot of people like this, but there's always a lot of questions on it. It's basically just showing you the volume. Okay, all of the yellow are sells and the blues are buys, and this is the amounts, right? So you can see whenever the token was down in this range here, there was a whole lot more volume happening, buys and sells, versus right here, there wasn't quite as much volume. And then there's a little bit of volume picking up in here. And whenever we're LPing, you know, volume is king, right? So sometimes you may want to pick, let's say, okay, there's a bunch of volume happening right here. I want to capture that. So I'm going to set my range. Oops. Probably from about right here, just a little bit above where it says 9. And then down here, just above where it says 6. So that may be where you want to set your range in order to capture a lot of that volume. So I hope that makes sense. And we will demo that here actually right now. Okay. All right. So let me go to this token right here. Here's a chart we can see. And I've got my indicators already on here, except for, let's see, let me set my Ganassi candles. And then, okay, so there's my MACD. Okay. So we can see what the trends were here. We had some bigger pumps and bigger dumps, some part where it leveled off. And I actually like level off because it's ranging, right? And you can see right here in the chart, the more sideways action you can get, the better. Staying in range, I like that much more than a big dump in massive pumps. And you see here on the RSI, we had this big sell-off and then it bounced back up a little bit. Now, of course, right here, we could see there was a dump and then it came immediate bounce right back up. What's this token doing? Well, it's largely been staying in this range right here, and we could see that by the volume profile visible range. It might actually be rugging right now. I need to check on that. See if I'm still in range. I am not. Okay. Yikes. I am going to see. I'm probably going to wait a little bit before I go and pull that. But anyway, while we're here, I'm going to show you GMGN a little bit. This is one of my favorite charting tools, and there's a lot of stuff here that we can look at. Bubble maps, you've got that link right down here. It doesn't have the words bubble maps on it, but you can look at the bubble map on this. When it loads. There we go. Okay. We'll click here and we can see what's going on. What are the various clusters? This cluster is only 3.5, 1.76, 0.59 on some of these. So I'm not too worried about those clusters there. If I click on that, that's showing me, and it was hidden, the Meteora pool itself, right? So I'm going to hide that because that's misleading, because that's the actual pools, right? Don't worry about those. And then you've got all the others. And one of the things that you can also look at is there kind of an organic distribution? If you're seeing wallets that have like the exact same percentage and a whole bunch of them, that can be an indicator of some clusters, if you will, or wallets that have a lot of the same, a lot of that token. Let's see. Right here, we can see the top 10, how much the top 10 wallets hold, whether the dev is still holding, how many holders there are of this token, snipers, phishing, and bundlers. There's, I guess, all the bundlers got out of this, and some safety check information here. And again, we see right here, here's the market cap. It's dropped by about half since I initially got into this token. We'll see the 1 minute what it's doing, the last 5 minutes. If we click here, we can see the net buy 3K, 1K, the last 1 hour, 1K, the last 24 hours, it's lost 44% of its value, 17K in sells. So there's a bit of a sell-off going on this particular token right now. You can check into some of the socials up here. What's going on there? Down here on your trades, you can see what the KOLs are doing. You know, there are some people who track KOLs and looking out for very specific ones that, you know, okay, that guy, he's probably going to rug me. You can see what's going on there. You can see what the dev has done. Here, the dev is not sold, which is unusual. They usually buy and sell pretty quick. Smart contracts, if there are any whales. And one thing here, like whenever you hover here, you'll see some of all these little indicators that GMGN has. This little red broom sweeping icon, they've sold all, right? Or that they're a whale. Fresh wallets, so brand new wallets, what the snipers have done. Snipers, it's the same as the dev. They haven't sold yet. The top 31 holders, or just really this top wallets, because this number is not necessarily always 31. So you see what they're doing. And this particular wallet, we see a whole bunch. They are accumulating starting in the last 10 minutes. They're starting to buy the dip here. So that may be why I'm going to stay in this token, because there may be something going on here. Any insiders, what they're doing, this person's been DCing out. I can see bot degens and bundlers. So all that's cool stuff. And we really could go all day on GMGN. There's so many things here to talk about. I'm not going to cover everything. Here on the display, you can mark, like if you want to see what the KOLs did, that can give you turn these things on to look at that. And let's see if it'll actually show that to me. Okay, no questions so far. Show me everything. It's not doing it. Interesting. But anyway, the idea here is that you can get it to show you what other wallets have been doing, some of these things that we were talking about below. But switch your price from USD to Sol. Anyway, let me show you a different token and how I would pick my range on this particular token. Okay. So I could see here's where the volume is happening. Here's where the token is now. So I want to find an entry point. I'm going to come here on this particular tool There's one called price range where I can draw the price range and it'll tell me. So if I wanted to go one-sided and I wanted to capture this volume here, I can draw that and I can see that it's telling me right here, it's 27%. So whenever I would go and set up that pool, that token, which I'm actually already in, I'm going to go into the 20 bin step. And so that was, again, 27%. So if I want to go one-sided on this with a bid ask, I can come down here and select negative 27%. And there you go. I'm all set to go from there. Now, if I wanted to go two-sided or leave some room in case I want to compound fees at the top, what I'll do here is actually, let me draw it again. Just going from up, capture this volume, that's a positive 45%. So if I think that I want to set that up for a positive 45%, I can do that here. Just set that. It'll create the number of bins required for that. Now I'm not actually going to go that high. I'm not actually going to set that. I don't need to do that. But it's something that you could do. And you can see here, just by changing the percentage, the app is going to automatically create the number of bins. As a reminder, the maximum is 1,400 bins. So anyway, if I wanted to do that, I can set that up right here. Classic bid ask. And there we go. So I've just set that up. And I talked about this yesterday. We can see here 24-hour fee over TVL. This one I had created earlier, we can see that its performance is 4.59%. And this one, it's not reading anything because it's brand new. It hasn't had time to really go through. Okay. So what's next? What else can we show you about this? I've got some other strategies to show you. The things that we can do. This one, GOAT right here, we can see that it's had a little bit of sell-off and it may be time for it to come back up right here. So that's one reason why you may want to leave some room, because again, if I earn some fees, I can claim those fees and I can put them back into this position, so that if and when the token pumps, I'm going to sell those at a higher price than I would if I just sold them now. I hope all that makes sense. But that's how I select a range a lot of times, is going through here and saying, some people just use the fuck it method of, I'm going to add a position and I'm just going to go down a negative 50% every time, right? And that can work, but it may not be ideal. You want to maximize or make your capital the most efficient. Now, could this thing totally rug you? Yes, and go out of range. But you have to kind of decide, like, this is what it's estimating at. This is where the volume's been happening. This is where I think it's going to go. So that's the range that I'm going to choose. And so that's why I set what I set, if that makes sense. Okay. So let me just check another question. So either I have totally lost everybody or I'm super clear on everything that I've been talking about so far. And we're an hour in. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. Okay. All right. So Some advanced strategies. You can. There is the one-sided spot and bid ask where you compounding fees, and I just kind of showed you that a little bit where I left some room at the top of my position to put fees in. That's what that would look like right here. Now this one was half spot in the demo here, or right here is half spot, half bid ask. Because if you remember from yesterday, I was talking about how whenever you were at the bottom of the bid ask, that you're not earning really any fees, not so much. Now, of course, you're not selling your token very much, which is okay at a higher price. But I want to earn some fees, right? So that's why you may want to occasionally, especially if the token is not very volatile, set up a spot bid ask, and then do it like that. This particular strategy, the name's coined by an OG named Geek Lad. He called it the toothpaste tube. So it's got a layer of spot, both tokens. And as you're claiming fees, he's just adding that other token back into the position with the bid ask. And as the price rises, you squeeze out fees like squeezing a toothpaste out of a tube. So there you go. There's that strategy. Next is the classic bid ask flip. This one, it just works. It's a favorite among very experienced liquidity providers. I mean, I could tell you stories about people who have used nothing but the bid ask and earned enough money to go buy a brand new car. Kecklebeck from the Metlex DAO is who I'm talking about. But anyway, it's very simple. You set up one-sided bid ask, sold only. Whenever this dips down enough, it's time to reverse. You simply withdraw. Don't close the position. Just withdraw all of your tokens, and then redeposit them back into the position in a bid ask. Very simple concept. You are buying more of the token at lower prices, and you're selling more of the token at higher prices. So buy low, sell high. Very, very easy concept, right? And then we have the bid ask chill. Long-term established tokens. Sometimes you may want to use spot, but this one right here, like here, this USDC sold position, he went really wide on it. And it's just kind of like a chill strategy. You're not earning much in the valleys here, but you're mitigating some of your risk by setting it up this way. Okay. You're not selling too much of your token at a low price, and you're not buying too much of the token at a higher price. So it's just kind of like a set and not look at it necessarily every second kind of strat. Now this is like this DLM art that I've made up. I've given it names, and that's just fun stuff. The point of this is simply just to show you guys all the crazy things that you can do by combining strategies. Like here, the cowboy hat, this is actually a mixture of a curve with the bid ask in there. And I had made a curve, and then I withdrew just the soul from here and the other token from here. And then I put them back in into bid asks, just messing around. But the point is that you can see you can do a lot of different things with your liquidity there. Now we'll talk again a little bit more about the bid ask flip. This one, I love this. This thing is hilarious. Do this when price dumping, do this when price pumping. Powerful strat, but very simple. And here's one that one of our other instructors named Chief did a long time ago on a token called Billy. He opened a one-sided bid ask right here at what was at the time the top of the token. He selected his range and all 100% Billy. So he set it up all right here from the purple line to the blue line. And as the token went down, he was accumulating Billy. Whenever it reached down where he thought, okay, this is the point where I think it's going to reverse, he had 100% Billy. He withdrew, put it all back into a bid ask. And as the token went back up, reached the end of his range, he withdrew, pure profit. Solid. So that's the bid ask flip. Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit about dealing with impermanent loss. What do you do when you're out of range? Well, for one, you can simply wait. If you think that price is going to come back into your range, do nothing. Be steady hands, diamond hand that thing. Another thing that you can do is open a one-sided bid ask at a lower price range, hoping to capture enough fees to offset those losses, right? So you think, I don't know that this is going to come back. I want to recoup my losses. So I set up a wide bid ask in the hopes that as it goes down, you'll collect enough fees to overcome any of those losses. You can, of course, take the L and reposition your liquidity. And if you remember, I said anytime you close your position, you're making any impermanent loss permanent, right? But if you think you can capture enough fees in a new range to overcome those losses, then, totally do it. I have done it before. I have totally done that. Just a token decided I'm going to move down here and I'm going to stay here in range for a while. So I said, cool, there's enough volume. I moved down there and I got enough fees to overcome my losses. And really at that point, whenever that happens, a lot of times what I'm looking for is break even and not necessarily profit. But, that's where there's also quit before it gets even worse. Withdraw and sell before the price goes even lower, right? It's better to sell at a 20% loss or a 50% loss than a 90% loss. That's happened to me before. It's like, this thing is rugging. It's not, I don't feel like this is going to come back. Let's sell it now before it gets even worse. And so those are some of your options. There's probably other choices out there too, but these are some of the basic things that what you can do whenever you're in that position. What do you do? And you kind of have to decide for yourself, look at the chart. What's this token going to do? What do I think it's going to do? Is this kind of a high market cap token? Is it long term? Do the socials look good on it? What do the bundlers look like? That kind of give you an idea of what's going to happen. It's like maybe it's just down because it's the weekend, so I'm going to wait, right? So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can do here. Okay, so now the question is, what do you do with earned fees? A lot of choices. Again, you can claim those fees and just put them right back into the position, right? Just that one token. Like here with this one, Ron, you could take those fees and just put just the Ron in into spot or bid ask, whichever you want to do, hoping that it's going to pump up out of that range and sell those tokens at a higher price, right? That may not always be the case. You can open a new position at a price range higher, right? So go take those earned fees and put them even higher because you're like, I think this thing could be a runner. I think it could really pump up high. So I'm going to put these into a bid ask even higher. It's kind of like your moon bag, if you will, right? Put it up there. Another thing that you do, and I actually do this one a lot, is I sell those fees immediately, locking in my profit. I do this especially on a token that I don't necessarily trust. I think I've earned some fees. I don't know if this thing's going to pump up while my range. It may go down only from here. So I'm going to claim some of those fees and then immediately sell them, locking in the profit of the price. If I just held on to it and it just went way down, then the value of those claim tokens at that time is worth way less. So I'm locking in my profits periodically by just claiming and selling those fees. And of course, you can simply hold, right? You just hold on to the token. And if it moons, great. Sell them, just sell the token. And that's kind of like profit maxi. But I personally don't do that so much just because a lot of what I'm LPing, I don't have that much faith in it. So, but what you do, you can try different things. And sometimes what you do with it may be like what your conviction is. Do I think this is going to pump? Well, then I'm going to compound it. Am I not so sure? Do I think it's just going to sit here? Then I may sell it right away. So, not always the same thing every time. Okay, so we did LP already. I showed you guys some of that stuff. Actually, we can go and look at some of the stuff that I already have going. We'll just analyze some of it for a moment because we've got the time. Okay, so here's this one goat. Here's a position that I created earlier today. I picked my range and it was down pretty close to, I think, 37, 39, 40%. One-sided bid ask. I set up a little bit of gap here so that I could compound fees if I so choose. Right now it's at the bottom of my bid ask, so it's not earning a ton in fees, but there's been a little bit of ranging going on. It's okay. If I really think that it's going to sit in this range, maybe I should have used spot or even a mix, right? Because while bid ask is a great strategy, if something is really ranging back and forth and it's just moving back and forth within the range, up and down, up and down, up and down, spot is a great choice for that. Just because, again, I'm not earning very much in fees right here. So if this was in spot and it stays in this area for a while up and down, then I'm going to get a lot more in fees. Okay. See how bad this wallet's portfolio is right now. Okay. Looks like Uranus is ripping a little bit. And this is actually a token. This position had been much higher. But there was a big dump and it was just kind of staying in that range. So I moved down and I was in profit because I had earned enough fees on this one. I had made about $350 profit, even though I was down below my range. So I said, you know what? I'm going to move all these tokens down, and I just went one-sided spot. And I'm just been letting it sit here for the last couple days, and I'm just earning some fees. And I'm actually going to probably compound these right now. Max. Throw that in as a bid ask for the giggles. Don't tell me that. There we go. So there we go. Just compounded that. You can't really tell, but it is. I did put it in as a bid ask. All right. So what's next? See what else is going on. Sol USDC. It's not a big cooker, but it's going. control. This one has been out of range for a bit, and I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it comes back. I'm going to wait on this one. Let's look at the chart here. See what's happening. Okay, no questions. Wow. $132 days old. I'm going to change to the 1 hour chart. We see here, big down, and I may want to move to here. I may do that if I don't see a reversal come in soon. But I may wait until after the weekend before I make that decision to try and recoup some of my losses. So I'm down about $400 on this one. So hopefully I can overcome that. We'll see. Okay. We've got goat. I'm in 2 different pools, and I'm doing an experiment to see which one of these 2 pools is actually better. I put in the same amount. Well, actually, this one I had doubled up on. I had started out with the same amount in both. But I was experimenting to see, is the 100 bin step 2% better than the 21? Which one's better? So I was just doing that little bit of experiment to see what's happening there. Here, I'm getting 3.25%. And here I'm getting 4.38. So that tells me that the 21 pool is outperforming the 102. So not horribly shocking. This token has been out for a few days, and a lot of that crazy initial volume is already gone. So that's one of the other things that you have to think about whenever you're doing selecting a pool. If it's a fresh meme, you may want to start out with a higher bin step, really high fee, 5-10%. And as time goes on, as more pools are created on the market, more competition, those don't perform as well anymore. You may need to move to a lower bid step, lower fee percentage pool. The mistake that some people make is that they will go too low, right? So say it's past the time for a 10% fee pool, right? That's no longer earning very well. Don't go down to a 0.02 or a 0.2 pool or a 1. Go to the 2% and let that cook. And if this token ends up going longer, then maybe later it's time to move to a lower fee pool. But don't make the mistake of going too low too quickly, because some tokens may only last a day or a few hours. And if you go too low too quickly, that lower fee, you're not going to earn enough in fees to overcome your losses. So keep that in mind. Don't go too low too quickly, but don't stay in something that's too high too long, if that makes sense. You kind of get a feel for it, but it's also one of the great things about just being in our Discord in the LP Army. You've got a lot of the guys in there, they're talking and they're telling you like, hey, what's cooking right now, right? What's going on? Oh man, I need to zoom in on you for you guys. Okay. Actually, yes, but I can show you that again here. We've got the time to do that. Yeah, I've cooked for a long time in Troll. I hope it comes back. So let me just show you guys the bid ask flip again, just for the fun of it, right? So here we are. Let me refresh the page. So bid ask flip, very simple. I went in one-sided with the bid ask. I selected my range here on GOAT. I picked, let's see, let me choose price. I actually selected somewhere about like right that. Right now, if I was to pick it, I would go down 30%. So if I was going to create a new one, I would go 30%. This is pretty close to that. And that's just what I would set it up right there, one-sided bid ask. Once this token gets down in this area right here, I'm going to say, okay, it's time to flip. So I just do a withdraw. And then I would re-add only the GOAT in to a bid ask. So it's going to go up in this direction here. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It's not a complicated strategy at all. It's very simple, actually. Am I not sharing? Oh, yes, I am. Okay. Price doesn't match the price on the chart. Yeah, so let me show you that why, right? So this price here is not the same as the price on the GOAT chart. Why is that? Well, this will change. Hello. Am I looking at the right one? Yeah. So you switch from USD to Sol, like here and here, or 0, and the current right there. That's about right. So in that particular case, it is correct. Why is this so goofy? There we go. So that's why that looks that way. Make sure you switch the right size. Okay. Let me go back. See what else is going on. Okay. What did I do with Eagle? With Eagle, I felt like it was going to range a little bit. So this one I did a spot and bid ask, and I went pretty wide on it, just based off of what I drew on the chart earlier. Come on. So that's what I drew on this chart earlier. This was about where I entered, and it's gone down. I went down like about 43% on this, roughly, is what I chose to set this range up as. So here it is moving. The volume is down, but that's okay. It'll probably pick up. I am earning a little bit of fees, so we're getting there. And compounded some up here, and it got a weird shape. That was not intentional. So anyway, I swear. Cope, there's another one that I am thinking it might come back, so I'm just going to hold and wait on that one and see if it comes back. And this one, it's a maybe. Or it may be sitting down here deciding to range. Looks like we're getting a bunch of volume down here in this range, so I might actually move that one. But anyway, that's what we're doing with that. Let me go back. We have some other stuff to cover. Oh, Hector, I did look at that one earlier today. I just didn't have time to really get into it, but I've got to cover a few other things before we do anything else. Yesterday we talked about the damn V2. I gave the demo of it. I'm just going to give a little bit more information about that. Finding opportunities in the LP Army Discord. There's the DGen Dam chat. There was the Metlex bot. What some people are using is Axiom Trade. They're using these filters right here to look and see what's coming out, what's fresh, what's hot. It's always a risk doing some of these things. For Jupe Pro, like Mythical Potato, he likes to use this. He sets it up looking at the top traded 5-minute times and the percentage of trade. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you to some great guys who have some strategies on that and info. I'm going to show you something else here in a bit that'll take you to great strategies. But finding opportunities for the damn V2. There's also something called Rocket Scan from one of our newest LP Army members, Will Fox. That's a great tool to find opportunities for the damn V2. A lot of it is a gamble because you're trying to hit damn V2 on brand new tokens and you have no idea what it's going to do. So what you'll hear a lot of guys say is I put in, 0.1 soul and a prayer. And sometimes you get lost. Sometimes you make a whole lot of money. It just varies. But that's some of the opportunity finding stuff for the damn V2. And then here's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to the LP Army, and that is lparmy.com. It's maintained by the great Alex, who also makes metlex.io. You can find past boot camps. You can find other translations such as Chinese, Russian, French, Spanish. So this course, but in a different language. Our advanced boot camps, past recordings are all there. In fact, we have one coming up today here in about an hour and a half or so, where we're going to talk about multi-day. You'll find strategy guides. So more educational content, strategies from some of the best in the LP Army. You can find that out there. You'll find lists and links to community tools that have been vetted. Guys like GeekLad, Tux, Foxtrot, and the current leader of that is a guy named Otto. They vet tools and the best they get put out there, the community tools, some great stuff out there for all kinds of different things. Go check them out. You can connect with some of the global communities, Chinese and Turkish and French and some places in Africa. If you may find a global community out there where you can connect with like people, maybe they're doing events or streams or whatever in a different language, or just get together. There's a great community, sub-communities out there, and a lot of helpful links to proposals and all kinds of stuff. You need to have lparmy.com in your toolkit, is what I'm getting at. Okay, so here's the thing. You need to scan this QR code. This is the graduation form. We don't share these outside of the videos, so scan this now, and we don't share them. This form is going to be open for 1 week. I'm going to close it at 3 p.m. UTC on September 7th. Please be patient. Give me some time to process. I'm not going to process any forms until after they close. But here's the deal. Here's what you got to do. You need to open one, not two, but one DLMM position. It must be a new one. You can open it anytime between today and September 7th. Anytime you want to open that, in that date range, you can do it. If you submit an older position, it's going to be rejected. You have to have at least $100 of value in assets. So it can be one token, it can be two tokens, it doesn't matter, but the total value of those tokens when you start needs to be at least $100. I do allow, like, if say you wanted to set up your position, say part of it spot and part of it bid ask or part of it curve, whatever, and say it's $50 and $50. If you get both of those in within like a minute or two, that's fine. Won't knock you for that. We'll allow that to happen. But if you know it's 20 minutes before you make that second deposit, it's not going to count. We don't allow stable pairs, and it's really hard to make a passing grade on that in a stable pair. But USDC, USDT, Sol liquid staking tokens, those tokens that are correlated to each other, those are not allowed. You need to LP for at least 1 hour. And you must close that position. You can go longer than an hour, but you have to have at least 1 hour. So if you're only LP for 5 minutes, it doesn't count. You got to close that position before you submit it. And you need to show at least 5% profit, not just 5% in fees, but 5% profit. So your fees, all that, it must overcome any impermanent, aka divergent loss. So make sure it's 5% profit. We do not allow third-party DLM managers. I have nothing against, HawkFi, MedEngine, any of these other tools out there, but we want you to demonstrate that you fully understand the DLM, how to do this on your own. So we don't allow those tools. If it's detected, we will reject that. And again, you must complete both days. You must pass day 1 in order to pass day 2. If you have the bootcamp trainee role from a previous bootcamp, that's fine. You don't have to redo day 1. But if you haven't, then you got to pass both days in order to graduate. Okay, so we've left that up. Hopefully all of that's clear. Okay, so now, how to find transactions on SolScan, right? Let's say you've closed your position and you want to submit that for your graduation. You didn't copy it when you closed it. So go out to SolScan, enter your wallet address, click on the DeFi Activities tab. You'll find your transaction where you removed your liquidity. It makes it very clear to you right here. Whoops. Didn't do what I wanted. Anyway, it'll show you where you've removed that liquidity for that pair. And then there's a little button right there where you can just click copy. There we go. Where you can just copy that transaction. That's also called the signature. So don't get that mixed up. And that's how you do that right there. That's where you get those from. Okay. So actually what I'm going to do now is a demo of that right there. Share screen, window, go here. Okay, so DeFi activities. That's where I just claimed. Let's see one that I closed. Find one that I closed. Here's one that I closed earlier today. So I copied that transaction there. I'm going to go to Metlex. I'm going to go to the P&L tab, paste my transaction, hit the rocket to go. Okay, so we can see here, like when I opened it, how much I started with. These are all times that it may have claimed fees and I was actually compounding it back into there. So I can see my profit and loss percentage. So this was 6.89%, how much I started with, how much I got in fees, and how much I withdrew completely. And this is how much I made in profit, $138.89. Down here, we have a little Bootcamp checker that's just telling you some of those things that we talked about. We don't have the third party manager. The initial deposit was enough. The P&L was enough. And the time, it lasted over an hour. So that we know that was good. And Alex is even here, like you can recopy that, but you don't have to. Coming down, you'll see here's your beautiful P&L card that's got a lot of that information on that you can download, copy, share with your mom and your dad, show them, tell grandma how proud you are that you made some money, or you can show that off. You can also, if you don't want to give all that information, you can cut some of this stuff out. You can have it show the percentage. Whatever you want to do to design with the card. And here's the old school version of it. So you have a lot of choices here on these cards. If this was a loss, it would look different. If this was, I think, over 100% percentage win, it looks even different from that. So what you see here all depends on the performance, like what you got. So if it's a loss, you're going to get a sad little dude here. So that's what that looks like. That's how you generate one of those lovely P&L cards. Okay. Can we do a one-sided curve strat? Okay. I think he's wanting me to show it. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can pick this one. Emulates. Let's see. So we've got some time to do it. I'm going to go into the super app and see. I'm not finding that one. But it's right here. Okay. This is the correct one. I don't know why someone's created a 25 bin step with 0.25. I think it's too early to have that pool. I would not go into that pool. 205%. I think the 125 1% actually makes the most sense on this one. And this may not be the best thing to do, the one-sided curve, but I'm going to show you what it looks like and use my money to do it. I'm just going to go small here. Actually, I'm going to go really small. I'm gonna use $4. Okay. So that top curve blast is basically that right there. You can curve it or you can spot it. What a lot of people were doing initially was they were doing a curve like that, hoping to capture those fees fast. A lot of people, they're going down some as low as 2 or 3 bins and doing spot, right? And this is you're focusing a ton of money in this one place so you can earn a whole lot of fees really quickly. The big risk here obviously is that like this position, it's only negative 2.45%. So if this thing goes down and doesn't come back up, then I can get super wrecked super fast, right? So you may want to adjust your risk profile there on that, and go a little bit wider. Let me reset this. You may want to do something more like this, right? And that's the idea here. I didn't even look at the chart. And you really should look at the chart to see if it's in the right place to do it. A lot of times the place to do it is kind of on a pump where you've got just those initial little dips in it. Let me go back and look at the beginning of this token. Okay. So somewhere within here is probably where I would have wanted to do it. There's a lot of up on this, so sometimes there's not making too much money on it. Or these little dips here, like whenever you have these peaks, you'll catch a little bit of dip and it comes back. So this probably would have been right here a great place to do it, because we had a little downtrend, then came back up. You would have made a whole lot of fees really fast on that. And yeah, that's basically the top curve blast or the heart attack. And you really you get a heart attack because let's say that you did it right here, and then this thing went down, 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 and your range consisted of that. Like that. Say that was your range, and then this tuck is down here, and you're like, oh my God, right? You've lost a bunch of money. Of course, if you had just held, it would have gone back up. But that's the heart attack part. That's where you're like, oh my God, I just put 5 SOL or 10 SOL or 20 SOL in this teeny tiny range, and then it went way down, and that's how you can totally lose a lot of money. So this is not a strategy that I would recommend for a beginner at all. Super risky, and you don't do it just any old time. So hopefully I've answered that question well enough there. Yeah, you can do that one-sided. When choosing my range, do I need to click on that on the SOL part instead of the token? I mean, it's totally okay to do that. If especially if like this token is only going up, then you may want to buy it and put it up there. So I don't know if I can answer that any better. Let's go here and see if we have anything else. Nope, it's just question time. So any additional questions, We're here for you. If you're not in both Discords, you need to be. If you're not following Meteora and LP Army on X, you should be. So yeah, join us. And after this session, we will go to the LP Army Discord and I'll fire up the bootcamp stage where we'll be in there answering questions about today, whatever you got. And if you want to come up and talk to ask a question, we'll do that for you. Anything else, guys, that we can do? Photon, have you seen anything that we need to cover from before?
Not exactly. You know what I always say. You do a wonderful job, sir.
Thank you. Well, Poseidon says I did it well, so I mean, it must be good.
It's well polished, so it comes out pretty good.
This is one of our newest mods here. This guy is very smart. He knows what he's talking about. You should follow him on X. Big member of the Chinese community too. All right, guys, we have a few minutes. If you have any questions, great. If not, then we'll end this and go to the bootcamp stage. We'll be there for a little while. I have in about hour and 15 minutes, we'll be doing advanced bootcamp number 5, talking about multi-days. So I've got 3 great guest instructors joining me for that. They're going to talk about their various strategies for doing multi-day positions. So tune in and listen to that. Thank you, Tone DeFi. Appreciate that. Cyberbroda, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yep. All right, guys. Well, no question. Let's see. How many people participated today and yesterday? I believe at our peak yesterday, we had 2,300 roughly. And I am looking at 2,252 people watching right now across X, here in StreamYard and on the YouTube. And as always, these things are recorded. So if you need to rewatch, it'll be on YouTube and X and StreamYard. So yeah. Yep, look forward to seeing you there, Hector. All right, guys. If no questions, we will end the stream. Same song as yesterday, the We'll Go Far. Rock on. Thanks for coming, you guys, and good luck on graduation. And we'll see you in the Discord.